Welcome to episode 1 of Down the Movie Rabbit Hole with Alexis. If you didn't watch my channel intro video, here is a quick review. After each episode of Down the Rabbit Hole with Alexis, I will draw 2 random numbers for the actor in the closing credits and their movie catalog. And that is the movie we will review on the next episode. Instead of current movies or prescribed lists, we will follow the movie rabbit hole wherever it leads. Episode 1 of Down the Rabbit Hole with Alexis. Weapons 2025, written and directed by Zach Kreger. 17 children from the same 3rd grade class disappear at 2:17 a.m. That's the hook for Weapons, the horror mystery from 2022's Barbarian writer and director. But Weapons is more than easy jump scares or simple answers. It turns a small-town tragedy into a full-blown moral autopsy of suburbia. The real terror isn't the vanishing kids. It's how parents and others respond. The movie unfolds through fragmented chapters told from different perspectives. The teacher Justine, a grieving mother, a morally ambiguous cop, a by-the-book school principal, a father trying to put the pieces together, an addict with a knack for being at the wrong place at the wrong time, the child who remained, the antagonist at the center of the hurricane of disaster. This multi-POV storytelling keeps viewers off balance. Every time we think we understand what happened, another version reframes it. Like Magnolia or Crash, it's less about solving a crime and more about watching how people implode under pressure, make morally ambiguous choices, hide information from others, or have it hidden from them, and succumb to forces out of their control. Kreger plays with controlled ambiguity, revealing just enough to keep us guessing, then pulling back. By the end, the truth feels almost beside the point. Tonally, Weapons is just as layered and complex. It shapeshifts between grief drama 1 minute and darkly comic the next. Then it punches hard with the supernatural. Folk horror rituals echo 2015's The Witch. Suburban paranoia recalls 2017's Get Out and 2019's Midsommar. These shifts aren't random. They mirror the town's unraveling. As order collapses, so does tone. The absurd humor becomes another survival reflex, a way to cope with horror that feels too big to face. Thematically, Weapons hits deep modern nerves, the weaponization of grief, the instinct to scapegoat under fear, the collapse of trust between parents and institutions, the loss of control and the toxic behavior it inspires. Control is the most pervasive theme across perspectives. When the children vanish, the adults rush to take control and assign guilt, but their desperation transforms into mob fury. Understandable, but ultimately self-defeating. Paul the cop, doing his best to be honorable, loses control when he assaults a suspect and jeopardizes his career. The witch turns those in her control into kinetic weapons, who in turn inflict violence on others. Her blackmail of Alex through psychological control leads to her violent destruction. Paul's wife, James, the feckless drug addict, and others struggle with the loss of control in some form. These remind us all of how easy and often control is out of our hands off-screen. The girl drugged at the bar and taken advantage of, the undocumented mother, brutalized by a militarized squad of thugs, the corrupt cop, planting evidence. These moments of lost control, of sexual violence, shattered families, and stolen freedom are examples that play out every day. When the children vanish, the adults rush to assign guilt. To the teacher, the cops, each other. Horror becomes social contagion. They feel helpless, and the loss of control in the well-ordered suburb is terrifying. The title becomes literal and figurative. Every rumor, every accusation, every desperate act is another weapon. Meanwhile, symbols recur, the children's triangle gesture, the repeated 2:17 time mark, the amplified ambient sounds of suburbia, all turning ordinary life into something quietly monstrous. Visually, Kreger turns suburbia into a pressure cooker. Clean lawns and fluorescent classrooms feel suffocating. Tight close-ups during confrontations contrast with wide, almost alien shots of the missing children. Sound plays its own psychological game. Crickets, school bells, the faint hum of TVs, all distorted until even silence feels hostile. Like 2018's Hereditary, the film uses space and sound to trap us inside dread, not deliver us from it. Weapons stands firmly in today's wave of elevated horror, a genre that merges fear with grief, trauma, and social critique. But Kreger pushes it further. Instead of one perspective, he gives us many. Instead of one tone, he layers several. It's horror that reflects 2020's America, fragmented, fearful, desperate for someone to blame, and feeling a loss of control, or fearing it. The film echoes the classics but evolves them. It's folk horror meets media panic, witchcraft myth meets modern blame culture. In the end, Weapons doesn't hand us clarity, it hands us a mirror. It's a horror movie about what fear makes us do, how communities destroy themselves in the name of protection, and how we respond to the loss of control. Ambitious, messy, and deeply unsettling, Weapons may not give easy closure, but it gives us something rarer and something with more staying power, a portrait of collective paranoia that feels terrifyingly real. Let me know what you thought of Weapons in the comments. Do you see reflections of modern society? Where do you think about Weapons in the context of modern horror? Where do you think the story goes from here? As promised, we are starting our adventure down the movie rabbit hole. I asked ChatGPT for random numbers 1 to 10 and 1 to 5 to determine our second stop. The first number, 1, is the name in credits. The second number, 5, is for the movie in their filmography sorted by date. The first name is Scarlet Scher, who voiced the narrative at the very beginning of the movie, and her fifth movie is Hustlers from 2019, starring Constance Wu, Jennifer Lopez, and Julia Stiles. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next showtime, and I will see you down the rabbit hole.